OOP's passport and ID is confiscated by the bartender who refuses to give it back. Original in R. Legal advice by U. Hurt Arc. I'm a NC resident attending a MI 4-year college. I just turned 21 about a month ago, and I went to a dive bar, music venue to drink and watch a show. I look incredibly young in person, but my ID is up to date and so is my passport as well. The bartender confiscated my ID last night because it looked fake because it is out of state and your hair doesn't match. My hair is currently dark purple, but in my license picture it's black. It looks almost exactly the same in a dimly lit bar anyway. So I tell the bartender I have a passport and he is confiscating my real ID and he says he will believe me when I bring my passport. I retrieve my passport, which clearly shows my age. And this time I ask to speak to the manager. The manager refuses to give my ID back, saying he's going to call the police to confiscate it. And then he takes my passport. No, I'm not kidding. I wish I was. He went on a rant about how I tried so hard to act of age, and had all this fake proof in a fake life. By this point the venue is almost empty and the bouncers kick us out. I now have 0 forms of identification on me. What can I do here? I'm supposed to drive back home in 10 days for a wedding. And I'm worried that he did call the police. They told him it was real, and he threw them away or something. Please help. Update. It turns out, I actually ended up calling the wrong police jurisdiction. This morning I called the East Lansing PD non-emergency line, whom I called the previous night, and I spoke to an officer who told me that they only have jurisdiction on campus and 3 blocks surrounding campus. The venue per bar I was attending is actually on the city line between East Lansing and Lansing. So the officer directed me to the Lansing PD. The LPD officer told me that bar always calls about fake IDs and in his words, 90% of the time they're wrong, so he told me not to worry and he would get my identification back for me. Long story short, I got my stuff back and I got to rub it in the bartender and manager's face that I was right all along. #reminder. I am not the original op. Your hair doesn't match, what an asshole. Like what a weird power trip to be on. I'd have called the police when they took it that night. Staying in the bar waiting of the police. Born and raised in Lansing, no MSU campus as well as anyone can. This tracks. Pretty obnoxious that the police department knows this happens a lot but doesn't do more than this. It's illegal to destroy identification so they can't get rid of it. If someone takes your passport, don't worry about the cops. Contact the State Department if a U.S. citizen, or if not a U.S. citizen, your government, embassy. That will shut down this stupidity quickly. In fact, OOP should call the State Department and report the theft of the passport now. The bar can be in a world of hurt because taking someone's passport is not a joke. I was concerned that the bartender was selling confiscated IDs on the side. This is better. Isn't taking someone's passport a crime? Should there not be some sort of punishment for the bar? Or because it's a business they get to just commit crimes then say, oops, my bad. I wish OP would post the name and location of the said bar so people would know to avoid it. And hopefully the establishment gets some well-deserved karma. A similar situation happened to me when I was entering the US. My hair was a different color than the passport and apparently that made me look entirely different. Because my ethnic features were confusing, unamused had to go through extra security and produce my country of origin's formal ID, and 3 hours later they let me go with, don't do any more drastic changes before traveling again, woozy face. In the future, if any place confiscates your ID, call police immediately and they will make them return it. It's technically theft. Oop, learned where not to drink. Had this happen in college with my passport. Convo went like this. Want me to call the police? Quote, yes I do. I'll wait. Cop comes. Looks at my passport. Tells the bouncer he is an idiot, and then I went in. Oop, needs to call the cops next time. I have my serving license. And unless the rules changed, what they did is very much illegal. A bartender can only take your car keys if you're drunk and trying to drive it. That is it. I graduated from that school and I'm sad to see that some things still haven't changed. So they're stealing identities, right? There's nothing else that makes it worthwhile to constantly be having the cops come in and retrieve these IDs. I would have real concerns over them making copies of your ID and passport and selling them. Am I the only one concerned here that this bar has a history of doing this? I clicked on this hoping it was an update on the Cypriot. I think. In the UK. I think. Who had the same thing happen. And was now stranded in a foreign country without a passport to get home. I think it was very recent. Maybe within the last week? Go ahead and call the police. Happened to me once trying to cash my paycheck when I was in my early 20s. My ID picture had long brown hair, but I'd recently switched to a pixie cut and had it dyed blonde. Thankfully the manager that was called in basically said, yeah, person working behind the register. It's the same face, just different hair.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.